Hello, everybody. It's me, Roscoe, and welcome to another episode of the Ipswich Town Transfer Talk, where we try to sort the fact to the fiction. And Town's transfer business this summer has already happened. Two in the door. The returning Amari Hutchinson smashing the transfer record for the club, and Ben Johnson, free agent from West Ham, signing a 4-year deal. Versatile defender is in. So two are in. More rumours are circling. I'm joined by Alex Jones to talk all things transfers. My friends, how are you feeling? And two in the door, early doors.
Yeah, feeling good. Feeling very Fabrizio Romano being sat here quizzed about transfers, which is quite nice. But yeah, it's been a bit of a weird week, hasn't it? Where a lot of the rumours came at the back end of last week with Amari Hutchinson and Ben Johnson. Those were going to get done. Those got done then on Sunday and Monday, which meant that the rumour mill kind of died down a little bit because all the talk was about them. And then once that was out of the way, everything's sped up once again. This is the cut and thrust of the Premier League transfer market. And we've seen that in full flow this week with a couple of rumours in particular that have escalated quite quickly.
They have indeed, and we're going to talk about a duo here, both from Hull City. Already been linked before, but this is heating up. We've splashed the cash on Amari Hutchinson. It sounds like we're going to be splashing the cash on Jaden Philogene and Jacob Greaves. AJ, let the viewers know. Update me a bit more on this current situation with them two.
Yeah, this one got put out a couple of days ago, I believe, with a report from Football Insider that Ipswich had launched a double bid for Jaden Philogene and Jacob Greaves of Hull City, which was going to be in the region of around 30 plus million, maybe a little bit over 30 million. That had since been backed up. The Athletic had said that bid had gone in. It was around the £35 million mark, maybe a little bit more. So you're looking at a fairly significant fee, but picking up two top championship players. Jacob Greaves was in the championship team of the season for last year. And Jaden Philogene is someone who's very young, exciting, talented winger, 12 goals, 6 assists to his name. Who's being tracked by a lot of top clubs, and that's where a lot of the interest comes in with him. It is worth touching on Greaves as well and saying there's interest in him. There's been links with Everton, although they're going after Max Kilman, so might not. Not Everton. West Ham who are going after Max Kilman, so might not kind of pursue that one. Everton, who might need a replacement for Jared Branthwaite. So teams are interested in taking Greaves on, but Philogene is the hot name on the market at the moment, isn't he? And there's a lot of clubs that we've seen linked so far. The standout ones, again, West Ham, again, Everton, Crystal Palace are apparently in that mix as well. Those have been the key ones. I've seen now Manchester United have recently been added into that mix. But the one that has caught the eye has been FC Barcelona, the European giants who've been linked with a move for Philogene. It's been a little bit of a saga there. Some different reports coming out from both sides. Sounds like that there has been that interest in a loan with an option to buy that is A, not probably something that Hull would want, and B, seemingly not something that Jaden Philogene wants either, with a report last night coming out saying that his priority is to stay in the Premier League, and of the options available, looks like Ipswich is the one that's catching his eye. So the BBC reporting that Ipswich are in advanced negotiations, or advanced talks rather, with him over a move. So we'll have to see whether that materialises, whether that's going to be with a duo deal to take Jacob Greaves as well, what those kind of figures are. Because if you're looking at, say, 35 million, realistically, that's a split of, you'd say realistically, 20 million for Philogene and maybe 15 for Greaves. That would be quite below, I'd say, the market value. Hull will probably want to get some money in to spend this summer, and we'll know what the market's like. And it's interesting to see their owner, Akun Ilikali, coming out and saying he's not going to stand in anyone's way. So we'll have to wait and see how that one progresses. But the way that it has gone from what looked like a little bit of a soft rumour to one where Town are in advanced talks, where we're talking about 35 million plus bids, and Jaden Philogene, one of the brightest stars of the Championship, preferring to come to Ipswich Town over a move to Barcelona, over a move to established Premier League clubs, is very exciting. We'll just have to wait and see how those negotiations go on.
Yeah, of course, Philogene is known for that Rabona goal he scored, which was incredible. Yeah, I know it was an own goal, sort of deflection, but it's still good effort. And I think Town were interested in him last summer as well. So McKenna, he's a player that he likes. He's a 22-year-old winger. So we shall see what happens with that situation, boys and girls, obviously. AJ, you about to say something?
The only thing with that, with the Villa links, is quite interesting because they're quite keen to take him on from what I've read as well. But there's so many different bits with Aston Villa. They've got to deal with profit and sustainability restrictions. They have a clause to buy him back, but that clause apparently only becomes active if Hull gain promotion to the Premier League as well. So I don't think this is going to be the end of the Philogene saga. I think you're going to see quite a few interested parties in him. That speaks of his volume, speaks volumes of his quality rather. But yeah, it's all just a lot of exciting things. If we're talking about Ipswich Town bidding 35 plus million pounds a couple of seasons after being in League One. And I know some fans will be sick of hearing that. We are in the Premier League now, but it is still a bit of a pinch yourself moment competing with Barcelona for summer signings.
Yeah, that is just mind blowing. And yeah, we'll watch his space, AJ, and see. We'll update you when we know a bit more. Next up, then, AJ is on a striker, free agent, Steve Mounie, 29-year-old, Premier League experience of Huddersfield back in the day. He's an international as well. Let us know more.
Yeah, this was an interesting report that came out of Africa. Africa Foot reported this one, and it does seem a little bit left field. So I understand why there's been a little bit of kind of skepticism surrounding this one. But yeah, Steve Mounie, someone who has got Premier League experience, is quite an experienced striker in himself. Came through the ranks at Montpellier, had a brief loan spell out in Liga and elsewhere, and then made the move to Huddersfield in 2017 for I think what was quite a decent fee. It might have been their record signing at the time. Spent 3 years there, had a couple of good, well, at least one pretty good season in the Premier League. The second one, Huddersfield weren't as good, and he didn't manage to hit the heights. And then spent some time in the Championship as well. So he's got that taste of English football. Then ended up moving to Stade Brestois. Wow, what a name! In 2020, and has been there since. Made over 100 appearances for them. Has a decent return. I think it's 30 league goals. He's a Benin international, so scored 17 and 53 for them. He's tall. He can hold up the ball on a free. It's one that makes a lot of sense. Whether there's anything in the link remains to be seen. You have to kind of think quite carefully about these reports that come from abroad when you don't know the publications quite as well, and you have to think about there's every chance there's quite a lot in it, and every chance that maybe it is something that could be a bit more agent driven. There are other clubs who have been linked with him as well. Turkish side Konyaspor and Saudi outfit Al Ali. So it looks like there is that interest in him. It could also be trying to drum up a bit of tension with his current club, who've offered him a deal. Might want a little bit more money to stay in France. So we'll have to wait and see. Seemingly prefers the option of going to France or England. So Ipswich have been linked apparently with a 3-year deal, which seems a bit extreme for a 29-year-old. Does fall out of the price range, not the price range, the age range a little bit in terms of what you'd say is an ideal McKenna target, but it is the kind of striker that would make sense in terms of just being able to support George Hurst and probably a slightly bigger name with a slightly bigger transfer fees later in the window.
Yeah, the question got asked, Town, will they break their record again? And I said maybe a striker. Obviously, this is a free agent one, but I think they're going to have to sign a marquee striker at some point. So we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Should we talk about a departure, AJ? Because there has been one. Ghassan Ahadmi, who obviously has been on loan at Cambridge last year, has now joined League One side Charlton Athletic for reported £1 million plus add-ons. So it could even go over that figure. I think we signed him 300k from Burton Albion a few years ago. So club have done some very good business there.
Yeah, I guess it's a good time to touch on a few kind of links and of course the actual exit that we've had so far. Kind of first heard those rumblings of Ghassan's departure a couple of weeks ago. So broke the story that Charlton were interested. And then that one moved quite quickly because there were other interested parties in him. It was clear that Ipswich were not going to let him leave for free. And I think from what I'd heard, they'd actually been quite strong and firm in those negotiations. And at that point, it was up to Charlton and what they wanted to do. It was a kind of take it or leave it situation. The reported fee is £1 million. It'll be interesting to see where that kind of lies in terms of the overall fees. My expectation would be it would probably be an outright fee. Obviously, it doesn't get paid outright, but kind of a baseline fee of maybe 650, 700 with realistic add-ons taking it up to £1 million. So, realistically, I'd say Ipswich will end up taking a fee of about $1 million for him, and there are probably a few add-ons that could take it above that should they happen. So a fantastic deal, and I think it's a good move for him to work under Nathan Jones and play up top with Matty Godden. Works well for them. And then, there's a couple of other interesting rumours that we've seen since then. One that we know for sure is real is Corey and Darbo, who's been linked with a return to Kilmarnock, isn't it? They've got a Europa League qualifier to prepare for, so they want this deal done quickly. Their managers said they want this deal done quickly. I know that Kilmarnock have been pushing quite hard with Ipswich to get this one done. They've shown a real intent. Whether that's now going to be thrown off by interest from Hibernian apparently will remain to be seen. I think that the allure of playing in Europe and a familiar stadium might appeal more to Corey and Darba, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. And then the last one, Idris El Mizuni, which would be a bit of a sad one. I've always quite liked Idris, maybe as a Cambridge fan. He had one really good loan spell there and is impressed in League One. And that's really good for him if that's going to be the level he's at, or potentially even at championship level. So we'll have to wait and see what's needed to get him. Stu's done a piece this morning which says a fee of 250 to 500k will probably be needed to get him to leave this summer, with Oxford linked and Barnsley are the latest to be interested in him. We'll have to wait and see if there's others, but another one that I think a club could move quite quickly to get done if they show the right intent.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision on Corey and Idris. They've both been out on loan and had some successful loans, but it's probably the right time for them to move on. So we wish them the best of luck wherever they end up. We've seen obviously some players who are ready to part the club as a free. Caden Jackson has got a new club. He's signed for Derby County on a 3-year deal in the Championship. Of course, newly promoted Derby. He's got linking up with Paul Warne, who was a big fan of him. I think he tried to sign him when he was a Rotherham manager. And also, AJ, we've got some big news with Vaz. We spoke about him last week about the contract situation. And then on Monday, July 1st, it was announced by the club. He is now officially a free agent. He's not at the club anymore.
Yeah, real shame that one, because I think we all loved Vaz, whatever you kind of thought of him as a player. And I think most of us really respected his ability and what he did last season in terms of the sheer amount of points that he kept in really important situations, crucial games. It was a shame that he's now moved on, because I think he was someone that could have made the step up to the Premier League personally, and now means that Ipswich do have to go out and recruit at least one goalkeeper, potentially two over the summer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And also, with Vaz, where he's going to end up. We've seen those links with Celtic. I'm sure there'll be a few others that will be keen to take him on for a free, and hopefully he gets that nice big contract. It will probably be the last one he gets in his career. He deserves it. He's a top guy, and really wish him all the best.
Indeed, we shall watch this space there, gentlemen. And obviously, we're bringing you this every Friday, this Ipswich Town Talk, Transfer Talk series. That was two talks there, AJ. I don't know what I'm doing. I do. But AJ, any other business? Any other business we should know about? Anything else? I'll put you on a spot here.
Let's see what happens with Jeremy Sarmiento. That will be an interesting one. So he's out of the Copa America, knocked out by Lionel Messi's Barcelona, despite the fact that Messi missed a penalty in the shootout. Unfortunately, Sarmiento also missed a bit of a sitter in normal time, which you can see embedded in the piece that I've just put up this morning if you want to go have a look. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the initial reports when he signed said that there would be the option for him to come back if Town were promoted. They have been promoted, but we've now got his father who's come out and said preference is to stay at Brighton. There's options to go to Germany or Spain. So there's a lot up in the air with that. You have to think about the limits that Town have on loan players from other Premier League clubs, lots of different bits like that. We'll have to wait and see. But I think if there was the option to bring him back, you'd imagine that Town would be keen to do it. But watch the space with him.
Indeed. Well, thanks again for joining me, AJ, and for another Ipswich Town Transfer Talk. Thanks everyone for watching. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts, your feelings on this. I'm sure you're very happy about Amari Hutchison's returning, and obviously Ben Johnson signing on a 4-year deal for a free transfer. And we'll be back next week to bring you more rumours, more transfer links. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.